desperately seeking might just be one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those black jobs, those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell them that the job might be one of those black jobs?
I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my black job.
Those black jobs, one of those. Who's gonna tell them that the job might be one of those black jobs?
Attorney General,
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice
Might be
President,
one of those black jobs.
President,
Might be one of those. Who's gonna tell them that the job might be one of those black jobs?
Attorney General,
Might be one of those black jobs.
Vice
Might be
President,
one of those black jobs.
President, Kamala Harris,
Might be one of those black jobs. Those black jobs. Those black jobs. One of those black jobs. Those black jobs. One of those black jobs. Those black jobs. One of those. Who's gonna tell them that the job might be one of those black jobs?
I'm here to do my black job. I'm here to do my black job.
Those black jobs. One of those. Who's gonna tell them that the job might be one of those black jobs?
Hey y'all, this is Tiger from 106 Keep It a Bean. How's my 106 Keep It a Bean family doing out there, man? You know I love chopping it up with you guys. You know enough. You know I love spending time with you. You know what we do here at 106 Keep It a Bean. Yes, we keep it funky, and guys, you know we're always going to keep it fresh, man. I'm just, you know, I love these times, man, that we spend together during these episodes. I need them. They help me. I hope and hope and pray that you get something out of them, that they help you just as much as they help me. Um, I didn't really have anything planned per se. I did jot a couple of things down. The title of this episode is The Voice of Reason. The Voice of Reason. Um, the title is the title of this episode is The Voice of Reason. Um, so let's just get into it, man. What I always say, spend a little time with me, walk with me, kind of see where these episodes are going to go. I always leave a popcorn trail so we know how to get back, so we don't go too far down the rabbit hole. Um, I want to talk about a couple of things, some hot topics. I want to talk about the youth in downtown Pittsburgh. I want to talk about the midterm elections. And also, something was brought to my attention that I don't know if many of us know or if we're even aware of it, that elderly abuse is on the rise. A friend of mine brought that to my attention the other day. Thank you, Keith. Uh, I wasn't really aware of it, but he said it happens more than we care to know about it. If one elderly person is victimized, that's too many. So that's kind of the stuff we're going to talk about. So let's just get right into it, man. I want to talk about the youth in Pittsburgh. Uh, I was listening to what is his name, Marty. He has his own podcast. I think he used to work with the news. Um, there were many people in their comment. I heard things like "lock them up," "throw away the key." I heard things like it's not the city's job or the school board jobs or the teacher's job to raise these children. Uh, they're talking about banning children from public places downtown. The city is currently have a chaperone policy in place. I think if you're under 18, I believe it's Sunday to Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where you have to be chaperoned with someone over 21. Now, um, let me first say I'm not condoning their behavior. Their behavior is out of control. Um, they're dangerous. They're violent. Um, they're they're disrespectful. So I'm not condoning their behavior, but I don't believe in throwing away the key, lock them up, and and just put them in the system and forget about them. I don't think that's the answer. I think uh, you know the chaperone thing is treating the symptom, but I get it. I understand the city's position. I'm not totally against it. I don't think it's going to fix uh, the root cause, but I guess it's a step in the right direction. Um, these kids need our help. They deserve for us to fight for them. They deserve for us to advocate for them. They deserve for us to come up with solutions that's going to help them, not lock them up, throw them away, and act like they're trash. They're human beings, and I said on my last episode that I believe they're crying out for help. I believe they're looking for true leadership, for someone to guide them, someone to spark something in them, to get them to engage in society in a correct way. Uh, and I talked about parents' accountability. Parents, you're accountable for your child. And what I mean is create an environment of structure in your home. Create an environment where it's wholesome and it's healthy, and your child can talk to you when they have concerns. They can voice their opinion. Create an environment at home where they understand consequences, what that means, and that you have to pay when you do A, B, or C. Uh, that's first and foremost. Um, and that has to be instituted. It has to be something that you have in place in your homes. And my oldest daughter said something on one of her posts as she was telling parents, get out of the bars, get at home. You should know the whereabouts of your children. You should know who their friends are. You should know where they hang out at. You should know what they're involved in. You should know about their social platforms that they're on. What sites are they visiting? You should have a working knowledge of all of that as a parent. And I get it. There's a lot of parents struggle out themselves on drugs. There's a lot of parents that are depressed. They're going through it. But that still doesn't excuse you from your number one priority, and that's your children. So, parents, I'm holding you accountable. Yeah, I get it where they say the city and the school board and the teachers are not supposed to raise our children. But what happened to a community? Remember the tribe? Remember a child is raised by the tribe. You know, the community comes together. I remember when I was younger. Not only were we were chastised and put in our place by our neighbors long before we got home, but we were able to get paddled by our teachers. I know some people are against, as they call it, capital punishment. I'm here to tell you as a living testimony, if I didn't get the discipline that I needed at the times that I needed it, I don't know where I would be. And another thing I will say this, when I was a child, man, I did some unscrupulous things, man, some stuff I'm not proud of. But I'm going to tell you this, somebody believed in me. Somebody took the time out. Somebody says, hey, we're not going to let this kid go down the wrong path. And I'm grateful and thankful for that. So that's why I say we can't throw away the key on these kids, on these children. We have to find a way to reach them, to get them on the right path, because the universe is trying to line them up. And so we have to, help facilitate that. So we're not going to throw the key away with these children, man. We're going to help them. Now, what is that solution? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. I'm asking parents, grandparents, people in the city of Pittsburgh, people who listen to me on podcasts. What can we do about what's happening with our youth? They're getting out of control. And yes, I know it from the other side that the elderly people and the people downtown and the businesses should not be in fear of young adults. They should be able to, have a business. People should be able to walk where they want to walk, catch whatever bus they need, do whatever they want to do downtown without fear of a crowd of young people doing some harm to them. I agree with that 100%. I really, really, really do. But what are we going to do? And I'm going to ask this question, and I don't know the answer, but the youth today, do they know God? Do they believe in Him? Do they pray to Him? Do they go to church? I know that church is on a decline. I know churches, in some cases, are not the pillars of their communities anymore. People don't run the church when they're in trouble. Some seem to run away from it. I understand the scandals, and I think it was in 2025 last year there was over 8 prominent pastors stepped down for, as they said, personal reasons. Um, but what do you think? Do these kids believe in God? Do they have a relationship with Him? Do they pray to Him? Do they even believe in Him? I think that's a pretty fair and important question. I'm not getting religious or anything like that, but I think um, you have to believe in something. And why not believe in God? Why not talk to Him and pray to Him and have a relationship with Him and find that, that God in here so that it can come out and you can be the best version of yourself. But that's a valid question. Do these young kids even know God? I don't know. Uh, I simply don't know. And I was talking to someone else, and they said that maybe it's time for men, including myself, uh, to start walking these streets and talk to these young fellas and young women. Have some men leaders and some women leaders where we can talk to both sexes and find out what the problem is. Find out what's wrong, man. Because we can't give up on them. Because as much as we're fed up and we're frustrated and all those things, and I get it and I understand, they are our future. Good or bad, they are. And so in one respect, we're looking at our future, and we're looking at these young children and they're our future, and they're behaving in such a way that it's indicative of violence and destruction and chaos and disrespect and a disconnect from morality and doing what's right. And I know and I hope and pray that I know somewhere inside there's a good person. I know there is. And, we just got to find a way to reach them. We really, really do. And we shouldn't ban children from public places. Come on. Come on. That doesn't even make sense, man. I get it, but nah. They're entitled to go wherever they're allowed to go as long as the age is the right requirement. They have a right to go. They have a right to, enjoy what the city has to offer, just like everyone else. We just got to find a way to curb this behavior, to curb this mindset. Maybe some of them are depressed, man. Maybe some of them because home isn't right, and this is how they're dealing with it. I don't know. I'm just simply asking questions, but I know one thing for certain: we shouldn't give up on them. We owe them that much to find out solutions to help them. Um, we'll come back to that, but I want to pivot to the midterm elections. We all know about the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court's ruling of 6-3 that essentially gutted the Voters' Rights Act, Section 2. I want us to understand something, especially people of color. And it's for everyone, really. That ruling, to some degree, had nothing to do with race. And I want you to hear me in the spirit that I'm saying this. It's about political power. Trump and the Republican Party know in order for them to continue and follow in Project 2025, they need control of both the House and the Senate. They know that. In order for them to pretty much do what they want without or little opposition from the Democratic Party. So it's about political power. Now, I will say this, because of that ruling, it's going to impact more people of color. But that don't necessarily mean it was done because of race. I think it was done more for political power, so they can follow Project 2025. You guys tell me what you think. Because essentially what's going to happen, maybe not this election cycle, but the election cycles to come, we're going to see less and less people like you and me in positions and offices in the House and in the Senate and in some other races as well, because they're going to shrink your ability to pick your candidates, someone to represent you. I said this before that Pennsylvania has 17 districts, which means there's 17 people who represent us in the House of Representatives. And currently, right now, we only have one person that looks like you and me, and that's Summer Lee. The next election cycle after this one, if they redraw the congressional maps again, you might not be able to vote her in, because you won't have the same political power. Before you might have had 70% of the votes. Now you might only have 30, and they have 50. That's what this is all about, political power. That's what it's about, man. They want political power so they can yield their sword, so they can do whatever they want to do pretty much without opposition, like I said. And they're following Project 2025 almost to a T. And I'll be the first to say the Department of Education, did it need dismantle? Yes. Did it need restructure? Yes. Did it need overhauling? Yes. Because currently, our educational system, the way it's structured, the way it's set up, it's not producing anything. When you start doing the statistic of where we are educationally compared to the world, we're going down. We're not going up. So what is that a sign of? That's a sign that our educational system is failing. So it needs what? It needs overhaul. It needs revamped. It needs revised, revisited. It needs something to stimulate it so we can get the educational system back to where it should be. And all I'm simply saying is this, that, this ruling essentially is about political power. And the Republican Party know that. Because each party does this redistricting and redoing congressional maps to favor either party. They both do it. And I want to say this, and please hear me in the spirit that I'm saying it. The Republicans and the Democrat, to me, they're both the same. They just wear different suits. That's it. Because they both care about your position and less about your condition. In other words, this is what I mean. Say I hire you on a job and you make X amount of dollars. And you're living okay. And then I give you a raise. Now I raised your position, but did I change your conditions? So in other words, is your neighborhood better? Is your school systems better? Is your highways better? You understand what I'm saying? Is jobs better? Did I change your condition? Because I think so many people are worried about position and less about conditions. See, I want the conditions of McKeesport to be better. I want the conditions of Duquesne to be better. I want the conditions of the city of Pittsburgh to be better. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you can change the condition, you can change everything else. And all I'm simply saying is Democrats and Republicans, they're both caring about the same thing, your position. You have liberals on both sides, you have progressives on both sides, and you have conservatives on both sides. And let me give you this little tidbit. There used to be a time where politicians got a stipend. They didn't get a salary. They had other jobs in order to make ends meet in their homes. And I think that's when politicians really cared about the people, because they understood what it meant to survive, that you had to go out and work. You know what I mean? Now they get a salary and perks. So who are they working for? Are they working for you? Are they working for me? Or are they working for themselves? Or are they working for special interest groups? People with political power, like the NFL, like the Jewish community. They have political power, man. So when they speak up, politicians listen. You know how much money we give Israel a year? It'll blow your mind, man. When I'm not saying don't help other countries or help other people, but you got to take care of home. I remember my grandmother always told me, you got to take care of home first before you take care of somebody out in the street. You know what I mean? What sense does that make to help other people, but your people at home are suffering and the conditions aren't good? Schools, jobs, inflation, the economy, housing, homelessness, youth out of control. We got all these issues here in the United States, but you giving other people money. Make it make sense. Take care of home first. Make sure we good. Then you can be the example to the world to say, look what we done. Look what we accomplished. Through effort, through unity, through practice. You know what I'm saying? Through root cause analysis. Them is the things that matter. I care more about my condition than I do my position. You understand what I'm saying? I want my conditions to be good. Don't get me wrong. What people care about being promoted and all that. I understand all that, but what about the conditions? Just like you work somewhere, you got a title, but the condition and environment is horrible. You ain't gonna want to stay there long because the conditions aren't good. Yeah, I got the title, but the conditions are horrible. If that makes any sense. So I just want to talk about that. I think people of color, you guys need to show up for the midterms like you did for Obama and even more, because these guys aren't playing, man. They're serious. They have an agenda and they're following it. Roe versus Wade, now on the Section 2 of the Voters' Rights Act. What do you think is next? Come on, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, man, to understand what they're trying to do. And I hate to say it, that I think they want to bring America back to pre-Civil War or pre-civil rights. They want it to look a lot like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, do the research for yourself, man. They're not playing, but we're playing around, not taking politics serious. We're getting caught up in this Democrat-Republican nonsense when we need to start looking at the candidates and how do you vote? Where do you stand? What is your proposal? What is your plan? What have you done in the past? And what are you going to do for us currently now? And if any of those things don't sound right, look right with that candidate, you don't vote for him. And I'll say this again, maybe you need to run. Hey, it's just a thought. Yeah, man, that's we need to come together, man. You need to get out and vote in these midterm elections because most of the southern states are already redoing their congressional maps to favor the Republicans. And if they control the House and the Senate, who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 years. Trump is going to try to find a way not to leave office. Is there a possibility for a way to do that? I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out. But we'll have to wait and see, man. They just keep chipping away. They keep taking us back. We're trying to move forward, and they keep knocking us back. They want us to believe that racism doesn't exist in this country anymore. Wow, man. I think you'd have to be blind, dumb, stupid. I don't know. I'd have to check your pulse if you think racism is gone. It's still here. It's still prevalent. It hides here and there, but it's here. It's still in certain systems. It's still in certain legislation. Racism is alive and well, man. It's not going anywhere. It's in the fabric of this country. And let me say this about white supremacy. I understand why white supremacy is in the world, because the world is being run by the adversary. I get that part. But white supremacy should not be in the church. That's one place that it shouldn't be viable. It shouldn't breathe. It shouldn't have life. It shouldn't have a foothold. It shouldn't have anything. It just simply shouldn't. Because one thing I don't know if you guys know, if you do your research, church was implicit in slavery. It was. It was an instrument. A lot of those pastors and ministers, or whatever they call themselves, when they got done preaching on Sunday, Saturday, whatever, they went home and they had slaves. They did. You ain't got to take my word for it. Go research it. Many of them pastors had slaves, so they were implicit to help facilitate slavery. And I'm simply saying that white supremacy has no place in the house of God. It doesn't. And we have to eradicate that. We have to kill it. That's just my little 2 cents, man. You guys tell me what you think. Um, you know, I, uh, you know, the last thing I want to pivot to is elderly abuse. A friend of mine, he brought it to my attention that uh, elderly abuse happens more than we know about it. There's physical abuse, there's financial abuse, and there's emotional abuse. And it's happening more than we think so. And I don't know about you. You know, you're not going to live forever. You're going to get old at some point, and I hope that you don't have to go to a personal care home or a nursing home. But just in case you do, you want to know that you're being taken care of. You know, spiritually, physically, emotionally. That there's resources, that they're taking really good care of you. They're not letting you lie in your feces and urine for hours or days. You know, that they're cleaning you properly, that they're giving you your medicines, and they're reporting any change in your mental status, that they're doing the upkeep on you and making sure that you're good. Let's just hope and pray that that's the case. But my friend brought it to my attention that this is happening more than we care to know. In personal care home and nursing home, you know, elderly abuse. It's happening. I didn't say it was a pandemic. I just said it's happening. And if it happens to one elderly, then that's too many. And we need to expose it. We need to yell it from the rooftops. We need to hold people accountable, from the administration, faculty, presidents, always down to the workers, nurses, CNA, patient care techs, or whatever they call them now. We have to hold everyone accountable because they don't deserve that behavior. They don't deserve to be treated like that. And all I'm simply saying is, man, if you see it, report it. You know, don't turn a blind eye to it. Report it. And I believe my friend Keith, so I thank you, brother, for bringing that to my attention. I told him I was going to talk about it. I was going to mention it on my episode, my next one, and here we are. And I'm talking about elderly abuse, and that's eradicated, that's exposed it, that's deal with it. That's train the staff better. That's not allow them to get burnt out. Give them adequate days off. Hire enough staffing so that doesn't happen. I think we need to. I think we need to cut out 12-hour shifts, make them 8-hour shifts. Because that's a lot to have somebody working 12. Some of the people working 2 or 3, 12 hours, 3 or 4 days in a row, taking care of patients, man. That's a lot mentally. Then they got to go home and do whatever they need to do at home. That's a lot. So I think that needs to be changed. How many hours you work from 12 hours to 8 hours. And maybe even consider having some part-time people come in. They work 4 hours a day. They come in and they do bathes and feed or whatever the case may be, and then they're gone. And then other people do the meds and the vitals and whatever. But I'm just throwing ideas out there, man. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. But elderly abuse is a thing. It's happening. We definitely need to do something about it. Please expose it. Please, talk about it if you see it. And let's make sure this doesn't become a pandemic or become such an issue where, something drastic has to happen. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, I didn't really have anything really, really programmed. I just kind of wrote some things down and to talk about the youth in the city of Pittsburgh. We owe them, to find solutions. We're not going to lock them up and throw away the key, like some people suggested. Some people said ban them from public places. That's not fair, because you can't punish an entire all the youth in the city of Pittsburgh because of a few. Can't do that. That's unfair. It's not right. Um, and it's just, to me, it's wrong. Now, I'm not saying that we just need to let them do what they want to do now. There needs to be some structure. There needs to be some things in place, some safeguards in place so things like this doesn't happen again. Um, I think we need to have a sit down and have an adult conversation with them, or an intelligent one with them, and find out what's wrong with them, what's bothering them. You know, let's find those kids and say, man, why are you doing what you're doing? And I think, again, like I said, some leaders, some men and some women, maybe need to start walking, walking these streets and finding these children and have a conversation with them, break bread with them. Find out. And I think in some cases we'll find out they're hurting. They're hurting inside for whatever reason, man. They're lost. They're hurting. They're confused. Just seeing all this stuff happen on social media. Some of them are getting caught up in fake news that may not even be true. I know they're hearing their parents complain about inflation, gas prices, food prices, rent, insurance. The parents are frustrated. I'm pretty sure it's trickling down to the children. So, I mean, there's a whole gamut of variety of things that is going wrong. And you can't just place your finger on one thing. We have to kind of step back, because maybe we're too close to the forest to see the trees. And maybe we need to step back and kind of look at this from a different perspective and see, what can we do to eradicate this? What can we do to challenge these young men and women to be better? I say get them involved in the city politics. I say get them involved in AI. I say get them involved in trades. I say get them involved in, something that's going to strike their curiosity. Because I'm a firm believer that once I reach you and I trigger that something in you, that spark, I got you. And your skills and your curiosity, your talents, and everything that's in you is just going to come to the surface, and you're just going to thrive. But I got to reach you first. I got to plug into you so you can plug into yourself. I get it and I understand, but I'm just kind of just talking, man. I don't know what you guys think. Remember, I said this is a podcast of the people and for the people, and everyone has a voice and everyone has a right to be heard. And it's real conversation, real perspective, and I'm building something authentic for the culture. And we talk about things that people think about, but they don't say out loud. And so let's not give up on our children. Let's find some solutions. Let's pray for them. Let's find out if they even believe in God. Do they have a relationship with Him? Do they attend some type of church service? Whether it be in a brick and mortar building or they're listening online. We need to find these things out, man. I think people of color, you need to turn out in these midterms, particularly in the South and even in the North. Pennsylvania, Ohio, all 435 House seats are up. So essentially, we might not see Summerlee. Only time's going to tell, man. Because don't you want to be able to vote for the candidate that you want to represent you, as opposed to the lesser of two evils? I never understood that philosophy. I don't like neither one of you, but I'm going to vote for the one I least like. Come on, that's crazy. I want to vote for the person who's going to do right by me, right by my community. You understand what I'm saying? Who cares about education, job, housing, homelessness, mental health. You know what I mean? Healthcare. That was the things. Jobs, infrastructure. Come on now. Keep it a beam, man. That's who you need to be voting for. Don't worry about whether they're Republican or Democrat. Worry about the candidate. Who are they? What do you stand for? How have you voted in the past? You know, I don't know, man. I digress and I apologize. The last thing I heard, and I want to go after this. You guys remember the child that essentially her and her father got into it in McKeesport High School, and he was, I think he's on paid leave right now. I just heard that the child got expelled. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems idiotic to me. You're going to punish a child because she got into it with her father and her mother posted the video, so now you want to punish the child. I don't know what's going on with the school, McKeesport School Board, or who's in charge, or what their mindset is, how they think, or how they conduct business. But from that decision alone, right there, make me question their intelligence, make me question their resolve, make me question their humanity. Because a child got into it with her father, whether she's right or wrong, and her mother posts the video, she don't deserve to be expelled. She doesn't. Sit her down, have a conversation with her. You know what I mean? Find out what's going on. You don't expel her. You don't punish her for what somebody else did. That doesn't make sense. Or is it about the fact that, your institution is being exposed? And I let me say this to the school board members, and let me say this to city council and people in McKeesport. I don't know if you noticed or not. I said this last year or a couple of years ago. McKeesport has to die, and it's dying. Meaning, not so much physically, even though we can see that. I'm talking about spiritually. It has to die. Meaning, the old regime, the old way of doing things, the old mindset has to go, and it's going because you could look around, it's being forced out. And I'm surprised that the residents of McKeesport are not screaming to the roof, from the rooftops, demanding change, demanding that somebody bring hope, somebody bring a different mindset, a different philosophy, someone who cares about education, who cares about housing, cares about jobs program, cares about bringing businesses back to McKeesport, to make a thriving community again, to deal with the drug problems. Come on. It's dying. And for you to expel this young lady because her mother posted the video, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You should look in the mirror and say, man, we dropped the ball. We made a mistake. We did. You don't punish a kid for what somebody else did. You have to keep it in context. You have to treat each case individually. Now, I don't know the young lady. I know her father. I didn't agree with what happened. It wasn't the time nor the place. I understood it, but it should have never happened, but it did. So it's a teachable moment for everyone, for the parties involved and for everyone. We are learned from this, but you shouldn't have expelled the child. If this is true, this is what I saw on Facebook, and I hope it was true. And if I'm wrong, correct me. But these are the things that we can't allow to happen. You understand? This is when a child needs protected. She needs someone to speak on her behalf. When injustice is done and wrong is done, there need to be somebody or somebody's there to correct the wrongs. I don't know, man. Let me get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Guys, always give me your feedback. Tell me what you think. Let's not give up on our youth. Let's get out and vote in these midterm elections like we never voted before. Let's curb elderly abuse. If you see it, report it. Let's not let them roll back the times. We don't want Jim Crow laws anymore. We don't want discriminatory laws or legislation anymore. We're not going back to slavery. We're not going back to 3/5 of a human being or 2/3 of a human being. We're not going back to lesser than. We're not. I used to tell white people all the time, and I don't mean no disrespect. I used to say, we ain't going nowhere, so you might as well get used to it. You might as well get used to it. You know what I mean? It's like if you go outside, you keep seeing that bird outside, you see him every day, you see he ain't going nowhere, then get used to it. He's not going anywhere. And we're not. So you figure we've been here over 400 years. Where do you think we going? We're here, bro. You might as well get used to it. Embrace it. You know, it is what it is, man. Let me get out of here, man. Thank you, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for this session. Thank you for spending time with me. It means a lot to me. I hope it means as much to you. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you learn something. 106 Keep It a Bean. I keep telling people, subscribe is free. Follow me on Facebook, 106 Keep It a Bean, or Robert Keep It a Bean. Robert Banks. Subscribe, follow. 106 Keep It a Bean cannot be successful without you guys. I keep telling people, tell me what you want to talk about. We'll talk about it. I just felt these couple of topics about the school, kids and the youth in the city, and the midterm elections and elderly abuse. I felt it was something to talk about, to address a little bit, just to bring it to our attention, to give my little 2 cents on it, to let you know what I think or what I feel. Always looking for your feedback, like I said. With that being said, you know what I always say, man. You got to be true to this person in here. And I say this, and hear me in the spirit I'm saying, never lie to yourself. That's one of the foolish things you could ever do, is lie to this person. You know what I'm saying? Don't lie to yourself. And don't lie to your creator. Keep it a bean. Whatever it is, if you messed up, say, God, I'm messed up. If you're on drugs, say, God, I'm on drugs. If you're this, you're that, just say, God, that's what I am, but can you help me fix it? And what I always say, you walk with purpose, but more importantly, you walk with love. This is Tiger from 106 Keep It a Bean. I love you guys. Until next time, I'm out.